natural gas, and especially LNG, liquefied natural gas, has a warming effect across the whole value chain that is as high or higher than coal. I think it was fantastic to get the Asian perspective of many of these questions. It's very easy if you sit in Europe or the United States to form a lot of ideas about what's happening here on the ground, and you don't get it unless you're present. So it was good to be here.
We're able to provide this technical assistance facility to help them develop those processes at an early stage, which is necessary because they don't always have the means to do so.
Actually, in nutshell, Asia, we are making progress. Regulators are looking into it, and there are policies and financial subsidies support on the way.
So I enjoyed the two panel discussions as well as the fireside with Eric. So that was interesting, having come into contact with the panelists, sharing their thoughts on ESG, on AI, integration into the respective businesses.
Bringing those topics of sustainability, ESG, as a way to be competitive and stay afloat and thrive in the future were topics that I brought in the boardroom to discuss with the shareholders.
It was a great event. Thank you so much for having me on behalf of WWF International, WWF Singapore. It was a great event because I feel that the need of talking about ESG, sustainability, climate and green finance is growing stronger and stronger. We are at an interesting juncture, economically, socially and geopolitically, to be able to tackle those topics in a meaningful way. And having the asset, giving us this platform was a great opportunity for all of us. So thank you.
In terms of the investment process, what we actually do is that pre-investment, we look at all the risks associated with the investment, so whether or not the investment is exposed to climate.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed speaking on today's panel and being able to meet some of my fellow speakers. It's always interesting to hear from other people in the institutional finance, in a family office, and how they're dealing with ESG and actually integrating that into their business. So it's very insightful, lots of learnings that I've been able to have. So thank you so much to the Asset for inviting me to speak today.
Climate change is not a localized issue. It is a global issue. It's the same point that was mentioned earlier. We need as much data globally, and Asia is not one country on its own. We are many different countries.
The Assets ESG Summit is a very relevant one. It consolidates views from across the investment spectrum. We have public-private equity investors in ESG. We've got ESG data providers, ESG asset owners and managers. So very pleased to be here. Thank you very much.
Taking and answering regulations is taking a lot of their time in terms of checking the box exercise, and I would rather focus on impact and other strategies. So, but at the end of the day, it's going to lead us to long-term success.
The most large problem for the ESG investment is that the disclosure and information is not so consistent and it's not so transparency and fragmented information.
I think the event is well organized, and also the guest speakers have some innovative thoughts. Then I think I have learned more about ESG topics because we are family office. Then we do not engage so many with the outside suppliers for the ESG data, and also how the other investment institutions work in their area. So I think today, although there's only free panels and also the talks, I think it has helped me to think more dimension and angles for these topics. Yes.